Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? Today I'm going to do something that I think every Disney fan finds very hard to do. I mean, even if you're not a big Disney fan, you'll probably find it difficult. Because I'm going to share with you my top 10 favourite Disney songs. Now I think you all probably realise how difficult this is because there are so many amazing Disney songs out there. In fact, I don't think there are any Disney songs that I actually don't like. Because Disney just knows how to hire amazing composers to write incredible songs, and then we all fall in love with them and they make us feel all sorts of emotions, and then when somebody asks you, oh, what's your favourite Disney song? You're like, Lord have mercy, I don't know. But I have somehow, believe it or not, gathered a list of my top 10 favourite Disney songs, and as hard as it is for me to do this because I know that I'm going to be missing out so many amazing songs on this list, I thought I'd do it anyway, especially because once I gathered this list I realised that my top 3 favourite Disney songs have been at the top for like the longest time possible. There are 3 Disney songs, which I'll get to obviously towards the end of this video, that I've always loved so much that they've just always without a doubt been my 3 favourite Disney songs. Like I've never changed them with anything else. So at least my top 3 are like certain, but yeah, you're going to find out about the rest of them today. However, before we get into the top 10, I'm going to give a little honourable mention to 5 songs that I really love as well. I mean, there are more than 5 songs that I love, but basically 5 Disney songs that were very close to being in my top 10 list, but didn't quite make it. So I'm just going to name them very quickly. My honourable mentions go to Second Star to the Right from Peter Pan 2, I think, but the reason I love it so much is because it was the main theme song of Dreams, Disney Dreams from Disneyland Paris, and I absolutely loved it. It made me feel all sorts of emotion. I just think it's a beautiful song, so that's one of them. And then Where You Are from Moana, which is like one of my more recent favourite songs. I think if Moana had come out like a long time ago when I was a child, for instance, it would probably make it into my top 10 because I absolutely love it. I mean, in fact, Moana's soundtrack is generally amazing, but Where You Are I think is my favourite of all the Moana songs. And then Whistle While You Work is the next one from Snow White, of course. A lot of people don't like Snow White, a lot of people don't like her voice, a lot of people don't just like her film. I love Snow White. It was one of my favourite films when I was growing up. I still love her. She's one of my favourite princesses. I think she's great. I love her voice, I love her songs. And Whistle While You Work is like, for me, one of the most classic Disney songs ever. It's like one of the soundtracks to my childhood. It takes me back to my childhood immediately. I love it. I think it's very Disney. It's a very fun song and I love her voice, so that's my third honourable mention. And then Man Out of You from Mulan is another one. I absolutely love it, and then it kills me that I couldn't include Man Out of You into my top 10 list, but there are just too many songs. But yeah, Man Out of You is definitely my favourite Mulan song. I think it's so fun. It's so energetic. I listen to it if I want to do a workout or if I'm at the gym, which I don't go often. I really should go more often, but it just gives me energy. It makes me happy. Like, I find it difficult to listen to that song and not feel energetic and not feel motivated and not feel happy and positive about life. And then my last honourable mention is Topsy Turvy from A Hunchback of Notre Dame, and one of the main reasons I love this song so much is because, again, it takes me back to my childhood. Hunchback of Notre Dame came out when I was very young. I was probably about 6 or 7, so it was like one of my favourite films growing up, and so I love the songs from it as well. And I remember one of my most memorable Disneyland Paris trips as a child was when they had a Hunchback of Notre Dame like parade, and like everything was Hunchback of Notre Dame themed in Disneyland Paris, including the castle itself as well. And I just loved it. I remember they had a parade and Topsy Turvy was on like the main song of the parade, so I remember like watching the parade. I vividly remember it, seeing Esmeralda, seeing Hunchback of Notre Dame. I remember like pretty much more or less how the parade went, and it's one of my favourite parades still. So that's why I love Topsy Turvy. I think it's a very fun song. Right, now that we've had the honourable mentions out of the way, and I feel very out of breath already because I feel like I've already talked a lot, soz. Let's get to the main event, which are my top 10 favourite Disney songs of all time. Before we do that though, I do want to say that when I say top 10 Disney songs, I genuinely mean top 10 Disney songs. So they could be from anything. They could be from Disneyland Paris parades, from Disney World parades, from live action films, anything. Like, I've made this very difficult for myself, so I hope you appreciate how hard it's been to try and make this list, but I'm pretty happy with it. And another thing that I have to say is that I don't count soundtracks or instrumentals as a song, so you won't find something like the music to the Electrical Parade on my list, because I feel like the music to the Electrical Parade, Main Street Electrical Parade, that used to be in Disneyland Paris and one of my favourite parades of all time, obviously it doesn't have any lyrics. It's more of a instrumental thing, so even though I love it so much, I haven't included it in this because this is my top 10 favourite songs of Disney, not top 10 favourite musical instrumental stuff, if that makes any sense. So at number 10 we have He Lives in You. He lives in you. He lives in me. from Lion King the musical, and I'm going to be very specific with this as well, and I'm going to say that my number 10 is He Lives in You, the reprise. I don't know exactly how you say it, but basically, no offense to Mufasa, but I much prefer it when Rafiki sings it in the show, and I think that's in Act 2, and I find it so much more emotional than Mufasa's version, and it's just beautiful, and it makes me cry every single time. Even if I'm not watching the show, even if I'm just listening to the soundtrack or the cast recording at home, I cry. So yes, He Lives in You, the reprise from Lion King the musical. At number 9, we have Strangers Like Me from Tarzan.
I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about the strangers like me.
Now this song just again takes me back to my childhood, because Tarzan was one of my favourite films growing up. I was about 9 years old when it came out, and I remember vividly going to cinema to watch it twice. We watched it in French first because we were in Switzerland, then we watched it in English again at the same cinema because they had an English version of it as well. And so like Tarzan songs, I know them both in French and English because I've watched them in both languages many times. But yeah, I love Strangers Like Me. I love Phil Collins' voice. I love Phil Collins generally as an artist. I listen to his other stuff as well, not just his Tarzan or Disney related music. And Strangers Like Me also just takes me back to like really fun family memories with my brother and my mum and dad when we were younger, and also the Tarzan show as well when it was on at Disneyland Paris. It's still probably my favourite show of all time when it comes to Disney parks, and I really miss it, and I used to love it as a child. So yeah, Strangers Like Me is a very beautiful, powerful song. At number 8, we have I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules. Now I think this is a very underrated song actually, and I think Meg as a character is quite an underrated character. She's such a badass person, like she's so cool, and I feel like a lot of people just forget about her because, you know, when people think of female characters they always just think of the princesses, but Meg is awesome. And I love her voice portrayed by Susan Egan, who's the voice of Meg, and the song itself is just, I think it's a very powerful song, especially for women. It's about not agreeing to be in love and not taking crap from people, but also I love how towards the end of the song, like Meg actually realizes that, you know, it's alright, she is in love, it's fine. I just think it's such a great song. It's really fun. Like, it's not one of the emotional songs, but it's just a very fun song. I feel like it's one of the songs that I listen to the most of Disney songs anyway. At number 7, we have the song Shadowland from Lion King the musical again.
And where the journey may lead me, let your prayer.
Shadowland is, in my opinion, one of the most beautifully written, one of the most emotional, meaningful, vocally powerful songs I've ever heard. I first came across it when I saw The Lion King the musical for the first time when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and from that first time I heard it, you know, and we got the cast recording, and when CDs were a thing, I used to listen to it all the time. It was always my favourite of that musical, and oh, it's just beautiful. It gives me goosebumps every single time. It's again one of those songs that even if I'm listening to it at home, I can't not cry. Like, it just brings tears to my eyes. It's so beautiful. I mean, I love how kind of Nala starts singing it, and her voice just like, I mean, all the Nalas are great, but especially most recently when I went to see The Lion King, you can watch my blog of it, the Nala that we had was fantastic, but all the Nalas, like, they just sing it so well, and I love how kind of it starts with her, it's just very eerie and sad, and then you get the ensemble joining in towards the end. It's that bit where it goes like, and when the journey may lead you. You can tell that I can't sing. This is why I'm a YouTuber and not a singer, but that bit, like, oh, it gets me, and it used to get me as a child as well. Like, I vividly remember again being this 7-year-old kid in my room back in Iran and listening to it and like crying my eyes out, like literally on my own at the age of 7, just crying listening to it. It's just, it was weird. I was a weird child, but it just shows how powerful the song is, and it's still one of my absolute favorites. At number 6, we have Dancing a Catchin' Rhythm.
All you have to do is make a wish and watch your dreams come true if you take my hand. Just like Alice here in Wonderland.
And you might not have heard of this because it's not from any Disney film. It's actually from a parade that used to be in Disneyland Paris called The Wonderful World of Disney, and I think it used to be in Disneyland Paris in around, like, from around 1999 maybe to like 2001 or 2, something like that. And I remember seeing it quite a few times when I was about 9 or 10, and the first time I saw it was actually on a trip that I went to with my mum and dad, my family, but also my cousin and like her family and my uncle and stuff. And it was one of my favourite Disneyland Paris trips as a child because normally I was used to going just with my family, so having my cousin there, my cousin cousin's like maybe 4 years younger than me. Just having like another child with me, just not just my brother, but having 3 of us, it was amazing. We had so much fun, and I love my uncle. Like it was just a very good trip, and I just remember us standing there on Main Street USA watching the Wonderful World of Disney parade, and the soundtrack of that parade was Dancing a Catching Rhythm, and I remember loving the song immediately. Like I used to sing it all the time. Me and my cousin and my brother used to sing it all the time. The bit where it's like, just take my hand, just like Alice, you're in Wonderland. Oh, it just makes me so happy, and I'm so glad. I feel like a lot of Disney fans who may not have experienced the parade back in the days are still like embracing the song, because it's such a good song. I still think it's probably the best Disney parade song they've ever made, and I sometimes use the song in some of my vlogs just because I love it so much, and it makes me happy that a lot of people recognize it and still enjoy it. Like my friend Rebecca, she never got to see the parade, I don't think. Maybe she did, but she loves it, the song, because like I've used it and she's listened to it with me and she loves it as well. It's a great song. It, like, again, never fails to put me in a great mood. I think it's like the embodiment of Disneyland Paris for me. When I listen to that song, I immediately think of Disneyland Paris. I feel like I'm in Disneyland Paris. So yeah, Dancing a Catching Rhythm, and if you haven't listened to it before, go and listen to it because it's an amazing song. Okay, at number 5 we have Just Around the River Bend from Pocahontas.
I look once more just around the river bend beyond the shore where the gulls fly free.
You guys knew there would be at least one song from Pocahontas in this because I love Pocahontas. She's my favourite princess, it's one of my favourite films, and I love the soundtrack to it. And Just Around the River Bend is an amazing song. Again, I love everything that it stands for. I love the lyrics to it, I think it's beautiful. I love Judy Kuhn's voice as Pocahontas, she sounds amazing. I love the visuals of it, like when you watch the film doing that song, it's just, oh, it's amazing, guys. It just makes me happy. It's one of those songs, again, that takes me back to my childhood as well, because again, Pocahontas came out when I was young, like I was about 6 or 7 when it came out, so that was like the perfect age to fall in love with it. And I feel like it's a very Disney song, for me anyway. Like when I think of Disney, this is one of the songs that immediately comes to my head. Number 4, and you guys might find this a bit surprising, but my number 4 favourite Disney song of all time is Part of Your World.
Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free.
Lord have mercy, can you believe it? I always joke about how much I dislike Ariel and how much she annoys me and how selfish she is and how annoying her character is, but that doesn't mean that I don't actually love her song. Like Part of Your World, the song that Ariel sings in The Little Mermaid, is an amazing song in my opinion. It's definitely one of my most listened to songs. I love it so much, I sing it so much. Badly, of course, because remember, I'm not a singer. But yeah, I think it's one of the most classically Disney songs out there, and it's so fun to sing along to. It's so nicely done. I love Jodie Benson's voice. I mean, who doesn't? It's such a pure and sweet voice, and she's amazing as Ariel, and obviously she sings Part of Your World amazingly as well. I just love it. I love the beginning of it. Oh, it's such a great song. So there you have it. I may not like Ariel, but I absolutely love her main song, Part of Your World. Okay guys, we've finally got to my top 3 now. How exciting. Before I continue this video, feel free to comment down below and guess what you think my top 3 are, but your moment is now over and I'm gonna reveal my number 3 favourite Disney song of all time. And that title, guys, goes to Two Worlds from Tarzan.
Put your faith in what you most believe in. Two worlds, one family.
Again, Tarzan's soundtrack is just one of my favourite soundtracks of all time, not even just with Disney, just generally. And this is why. This is the second song that I've used from Tarzan in my top 10. Two Worlds though, just like, oh, it is beautiful. I think it's one of the best openings to a Disney film ever, because obviously Two Worlds comes at the beginning of Tarzan. If you haven't watched Tarzan, why are you watching me? Go and watch Tarzan instead. But yeah, I think it just tells a story very beautifully, and this is why I like it. I think it's a very clever song, and the fact that they use that song and Phil Collins' beautiful voice, like his voice just gives me so many emotions. I don't understand it. Like he's definitely one of my favourite male singers of all time. But yeah, the song itself, obviously about two worlds, one family, it's just beautiful. Again, the lyrics are saying like, just because someone looks different to you and is from a different world doesn't mean that you can't be the same family, you can't be friends, you can't love each other, you can't touch each other's hearts. Like, it's such a beautiful song, and it's very sad as well. Like the beginning of Tarzan, guys, it's pretty emotional. Like a lot of things happen that shouldn't happen, but you know, you find out through this song, and oh, it's a great song. Like, it's definitely my favourite Tarzan song anyway, and it's my number 3 favourite song of Disney. At number 2, we have Bells of Notre Dame from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame Lord have mercy. Hunchback of Notre Dame is probably in fact, it's definitely my favourite Disney film of all time. I love Toy Story, but I would say Toy Story is more of a Pixar film, and especially when it was first made, Toy Story was only Pixar. Like, Pixar and Disney weren't the same at the time. So when I'm talking about my favourite just Disney film, it has to go to Hunchback of Notre Dame. I love it so much, and again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, one of the main reasons I love it so much is because I watched it a lot as a child. Like, it was one of my favourite films growing up. Esmeralda was one of my favourite characters growing up. I used to have a doll of hers that I got for my like 7th birthday or something, and I loved her, and I still probably have her somewhere. I used to have like her Esmeralda mug. Like, I had so many things as a child for Esmeralda, because obviously when it first came out it was very big and they were releasing all these stuff for her, and I just love it. Hunchback of Notre Dame is such a great and underrated Disney film. I feel like people just don't appreciate it as much, unfortunately. I mean, you can't even find any Hunchback of Notre Dame stuff in the Disney parks, like very few. In Disneyland California, I think they had a very small section, I can't remember where it was exactly, but if you watch my Disney vlogs you'll know, where there was like a Hunchback of Notre Dame little thingy. I can't explain it, but overall it's very hard to find anything Hunchback of Notre Dame anywhere in the world these days, and that makes me sad because it's such a great film. And Bells of Notre Dame, guys, Lord have mercy, it's such an amazing, powerful song. Like, it's written by Alan Menken, who is a Disney legend, as well as Stephen Schwartz, who is again a legend, because if you didn't know, guys, Stephen Schwartz has written the music of Wicked the musical, and Wicked's my favourite musical, one of my favourite musicals of all time, and I think the songs in it are amazing. So when you combine Stephen Schwartz with Alan Menken, like, Lord have mercy, you get one of the best scores ever written. And that's how I feel about the whole score, like all the songs of Hunchback of Notre Dame. But obviously it had to be a top 10, and I could only choose a few as my absolute favourites, and for me, Bells of Notre Dame, which is again the opening of the film, like, is amazing. It's quite a long song, but I think it sets the whole tone, the mood of the film so well, and I love how it tells a story again very well. It kind of introduces us to people in the film. It's the lyrics in it, guys, are amazing, so clever. One of my favourite lyrics in Bells of Notre Dame is the bit where it goes, "Who is the monster and who is the man?" Ignore my singing, but I just think that bit, like, it's a very simple bit, but it just means so much to me. I find it so clever because basically it's talking about Quasimodo and Frollo, and it's like, who's the monster, who's the man? Again, very simple, but I just think it's so cool, and I just love the beginning of it. I think it's so powerful. Dun bum 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 bum. Oh, I love it. My like dream at the moment, my challenge is to learn to play on the piano. It's quite a long song, so it takes a while, but I'm hoping to learn it by the end of next year or something, and then hopefully do a cover of it, because it sounds beautiful on the piano as well. And at number 1, my number 1 favourite Disney song of all time, we have Colours of the Wind.
Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned?
Yes, you guys probably all knew this anyway, but Colours of the Wind is literally like the song of my life. I feel like if I die, I want it to be played at my funeral. Let's not get too morbid though. But yes, Colours of the Wind again takes me right back to my childhood, because as I've mentioned in this video many times, Pocahontas is one of the films that I used to watch a lot as a child. Pocahontas, like Tarzan, and Hunchback of Notre Dame were 3 of my favourite films as a child, as was Snow White. But yeah, Pocahontas, oh, I loved it as a child, I love it now, it's one of my favourite films, and the song again for me means so much to me, Colours of the Wind. I think it's the most meaningful and beautiful Disney song out there. The lyrics to it are just so nice. I feel like everyone should listen to it. I feel like everyone should listen to Colours of the Wind, take in what they're saying, what Pocahontas is saying in the song, and try and live their life by it, because Pocahontas knows what she's on about. Like, everything she says is beautiful, and obviously as I've grown older as well, like when I was a child I just loved the song because it was beautiful, and I loved the visuals of the cartoon during the song, because, you know, Pocahontas' hair and she jumps through the rivers and it's just amazing. But now that I'm older, I realise just how much it means as a song. Like, the lyrics, it's just amazing. Again, it talks about how you should respect everything. You should respect the world. We should respect every living being in the world, including plants, including animals, not just your fellow humans, but just everything. Give the world, give the earth, give the place that you live in respect. Treat it with respect and love. Just because someone looks different to you, just because to you somebody might look strange, doesn't mean that they're not similar to you. Like, if you actually bothered to get to know them, you'll realize that so many of their struggles, so many of their hopes and dreams are very similar to yours. At the end of the day, guys, we're all humans, and we should respect each other. It does not matter that we're different, if our skin color is different, if we look different, if we speak different languages, if we're from a different world, if we have different beliefs, different religions. It does not matter. We're all the same, we're all equal, and we have to respect that. Like, I just think that's such a powerful and beautiful message that a lot of people unfortunately ignore in the world at the moment, which is why there are wars and stuff. And let's not get too deep, but basically Pocahontas is a legend, and Colours of the Wind is the most beautiful Disney song ever, in my opinion. And there you have it. These were my top 10 favourite Disney songs of all time. Wow, I can't believe I finally done this video. I've been meaning to do a video like this for so long, but I've always been scared in case like my top 10 changes, but now it's out there. Although knowing me, it might change again at one point, but I know that my top 3 at least will never change because they haven't changed for many years and I've loved them for a long time. But yes, before we go, I do want to give one last honorable mention because I only remembered this song whilst I was filming this video, and that's It's a Small World. Of course, It's a Small World is an amazing song. You guys know it's one of my favourite rides of all time, and the song as well always makes me happy. It brings me joy. I think the reason I didn't include it is because obviously it kind of is a bit of a loop situation, so some people might find it annoying, and to be honest, I've never found it annoying. Like, I actually listen voluntarily to It's a Small World on a regular basis on my phone, so I don't really know why I didn't include it, I guess, but I still really love it, so it does deserve a mention in this. But yes, leave comments down below, guys, and let me know what your favourite songs are, Disney songs are. You can leave a top 5 if you want to, or a top 10, or just mention some of the songs that you like from Disney. I don't care. Let me know if you agree with me as well. Let me know if you think my choices were good, if that makes sense. Not that I'm going to change them if you tell me they're bad, but I just want to see what you think, basically. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!